What is up here, YouTube? Jigsaw0097 here today, bringing you another awesome movie review. This will be episode 8, and this will be on the movie It, the 2017 version that just came out. I had the pleasure of seeing that with some free movie tickets with my dad the other day, and just going to make a video review of what I thought about it. Keep in mind, I actually never really watched the old movie, and I've never really read the book. So going into this movie, this was kind of my first real introduction to the It monster and the town of Derry, Maine, and all the stuff that happens there. So I basically went in, guys, with completely no expectations for what this movie would be. I knew it would be like a monster movie, but I didn't really know like what that entailed. Now keep in mind, guys, this video is going to contain lots of spoilers, so if you have not seen the movie yet, I would suggest you click this video off now and go watch the movie, and then when you've seen it, come back and watch this review, so the movie won't be ruined for you. So yeah, basically the movie takes place in this fictional town called Derry, Maine. It's a really small town, and it's been cursed. Basically every 27 years this evil will show up, and it will prey on the inhabitants of the town, namely the children. Mostly the children is what gets attacked here. And the demon has many names. The one that it goes by is Pennywise. And it basically can take any form it wants from what I get. I did do some research on the creature after this movie. Apparently its true form is just these lights. They're like these flickering, decaying yellow lights, and they're called the dead lights. So that's like the true form of it if you want to get like into like the different realities and all that stuff. But when it comes to Earth, it manifests itself as a clown, and it names itself Pennywise. And the reason it picks the clown, obviously, is because children are attracted to that kind of thing. And so that's why it picks that form. And basically, this movie for me was really awesome, guys. Like, I went in there, like I said, no expectations, and it pleasantly surprised me. The weirdest thing about this newest movie is the way it was filmed reminded me a lot of like an M. Night Shyamalan movie. If you guys went and saw like The Sixth Sense or Unbreakable or The Village, Signs back in the day, this movie had a very Shyamalan feel, whereas like the soundtrack and the way that the kid actors were directed, just the screenshot, like the screenplay, the way that the movie was filmed, like everything felt very Shyamalan-esque. And it is a horror movie kind of, but I wouldn't call it a pure horror movie like I would say a movie like Saw, or it's like Alien, things like that. This was more of a like Shyamalan type movie where there was horror elements, but there's like an overarching story between the characters. Like for a horror movie, if this is what you want to call it, it had great character development and just really good like character backstory, and great, similar to like Alien and The Thing, it had like great atmosphere. That was something that they really nailed here. Now I have been told by people that in the books the atmosphere for this town is even more bleak. The movie did have a way of making it feel a little bit bright sunshine and rainbows at times, but I didn't mind that at all, honestly, because it was a nice breakup. Like there was a lot of scary moments, and then there was a lot of like funny and happy moments, and I thought that that was a good balance so that the whole movie wasn't just dread. So yeah, the way that they filmed it, like I said, very Shyamalan-esque, which I really liked. The kid characters were very well thought out, and very well casted. And that was another thing I liked about this movie, guys. There's really a lot of unknowns. In fact, I can't really think of any big name actors in this movie. It almost felt like I was watching like a Stranger Things on Netflix, like a Netflix miniseries, because it did not feel as much as a movie as it just did like a really long episode of something, which is not a bad thing at all because it was filmed so well. And so yeah, the kids were developed very well. I thought that their interactions with their parents. Now keep in mind, everyone in this movie other than the kids feels a little off, and that's intentional. They feel a little like evil almost. And I think that it's because the way that the clown has cursed this town over the years. I think that it basically makes the parents and other inhabitants of Pennywise's choosing, because he does have mind control powers. He can basically bring out your inner fears and hallucinate those in front of you. And I think that he's done this to the town, because there's a lot of scenes in the movie. Like there's a scene where the fat kid, I forget his name, but he's getting bullied, and these bullies are freaking crazy, guys. Like they're cutting like an initial into his belly, and these adults just drive by and like look at it and they just ignore it. So that was my first sign that, like, okay, maybe this town itself, similar to like how Silent Hill is in those video games, maybe it's the town itself that's like cursed here, and Pennywise is the reason for that. But maybe like everyone in the town except these kids. Another scene is, there's a scene where Beverly, the girl character, she gets like all this blood flying out of the faucet at her, and then there's like just blood all over the room. It looks like a scene from like Carrie. And then the dad comes in and he doesn't see anything, and she's just like literally just sitting there like laying in blood, and he doesn't see anything. And so there's a lot of instances like that where I'm thinking maybe these kids really are the only ones that can deal with Pennywise, because they're the only ones that can actually see what's been going on here. And all the adults seem a little off. There's like a pharmacist that seems weird. They all seem a little, I mean, I don't want to use the word, but some of them feel a little like rapey, and others just feel like non-complacent, you know, like they all have like issues. And so that was actually really cool, I thought, because that basically made this more than just like a monster movie. I was thinking, okay, anyone that grows up in this town is subject to this kind of torment by this demon, and that was a really cool element, guys. So I really liked the way that they nailed that atmosphere and stuff like that. Now to get onto the monster itself, guys, I've seen the old pictures of Tim Curry. Tim Curry is one of my favorite actors ever, and like I said, I never saw the old ones, but I thought the Tim Curry one looked fine. This new one, however, though, I think Bill Skarsgård is the actor's name. This was similar to like the Heath Ledger Joker for me, guys. Like this was like a role that this actor took on where he just completely fell into it, because this was amazing. From the opening scene when you see Georgie running down the gutter and his boat goes in the sewer, and you see Pennywise for the first time. From that moment on, it was like I want to see more of this. He steals the scenes every time he's in them, because he's just so horrifying looking, and he's so the casting was spot on, the makeup was spot on. They just nailed everything. He just has this it's similar to like the Neomorph in Alien Covenant. Whenever it's on screen, you just have this really weird, like unsettled feeling, like you don't feel comfortable when you know Pennywise is around. And so they just nailed that, guys. Like, that's one of the best things about this movie, is the casting of most of the characters, and in particular Pennywise. They just picked the best actor for the role, and they just completely nailed it. So, yeah, the costume design, there's some CG in there, obviously, but the costume design of the clown was just spot on. He's in this house. You find out later that this house, like old decrepit house, it's like right above the sewers, is where he's been holding up, I guess. It's where he's been living all these times. I think when he goes to rest, he goes back down there and he doesn't come back for another 27 years. They weren't completely clear on it. I know there's going to be a chapter 2, so maybe they'll explain more, but the way that they designed this house was just really excellent as well. It was like a true haunted house feeling. It reminded me of like Resident Evil 7, the way that the house was just really decrepit and just off. And so when they went in there and they did battle with Pennywise that time, that was pretty awesome too. And then later on they go into the sewers. You know, the sewers is a big part of this movie. That's where he dwells. That's where he creeps around, and they did all that. So set design, guys, great. Costume design, great. The monster was great. And then as far as the story goes, to just kind of wrap this review up, the story was really awesome as well. A lot of stuff left unexplained, and I'm sure that was for a reason, because they're going to do part 2. but a lot of it is left for you to decide what's going on. I'm probably gonna have to watch the movie again to really get everything out of it, but I thought all the stuff was there for you to figure out. You just had to kind of pay attention and figure out the story. And yeah, it was awesome, guys. I won't go too much into spoilers. I've already spoiled basically the premise, but mostly I would say if you're gonna go into this movie and you haven't seen it like me, just go in blind. Just go in not even knowing really what it is other than it's a monster, and you'll have a great time. So yeah, guys. Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, guys, I think that I'm gonna give this movie an 8 out of 10. So I'll give you my real quick criticisms of the reason why I give it an 8 and not like a 9, because it could have easily got a 9 with how good it was, but there was a certain character in the movie, I can't remember his name, it's the kid with the glasses. Normally in movies, like vulgarity and swearing and stuff like that doesn't get to me, but this kid was just always talking about sex and always just joking about it, and it was like, it just didn't fit to me. Like it took out of the scenes. Like there's scenes where there's literally having some emotion and you're trying to like pay attention, and then this kid will say something and you're just like, it's similar to like the Marvel movie problem. This is the problem with movies now, is they try to be funny when they don't need to be. And that was a real problem in this movie. In fact, it's really my only criticism, honestly, of the movie, is this one kid. And if I had like wrote the movie, or I would have killed him off like immediately if you have to put him in. And that actually kind of goes into another minor criticism, is I know that based on the book, like all these kids are supposed to live, but it would have been nice if maybe a couple more people died from the clown. Maybe it'd probably have been more impactful if you would have maybe had 1 or 2 of the kids from the group die. Because the death count in this movie is really not that high, actually. It's a lot smaller than I thought it would be. I thought this clown was going to go on like a killing rampage and kill, because if you read they'll show like old articles from the past about how the clown just like murdered like hundreds of people. And so I was figuring that that's what this was going to be, where the clown was going to come in and just kill a lot more people. And maybe one of the main kids, which would have been nice, other than Georgie. So yeah, those are like my real 2 criticisms, guys, but that still gives it like an 8 out of 10, maybe even an 8.5 out of 10, because like I said, the editing, the atmosphere, the way, the cinematography, the way it was filmed, the casting, the story, like almost everything in this movie was nailed almost 100%. And like I said, I've never even read the books, but like you can just get that feel. I think they conveyed that feel of just isolation and just depression that they were trying to nail, because this clown, it's like a weight on everyone's shoulder. Everyone that lives in this town has to deal with this clown, that this demon Pennywise that shows up every couple decades and starts killing people. So yeah, overall, guys, that's my score. We'll leave it at an 8 out of 10, because I don't really like doing 0.5s, but solid 8 out of 10, guys. Go see the movie. I will be buying it on Blu-ray as well. It's that good. And I highly recommend it to anyone. What did you guys think about my review? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Did you like this new one? Did you hate this new one? Are you still maybe more of a fan of the books and you don't like the movies at all? Or did you love it like me? Whatever you guys think, comment down below. And if you like this video, I do other movie reviews periodically when I see a movie that I feel is worth talking about. And so I'll be doing more in the future. And if you hit that subscribe button, you can check out more. And then hitting the like button lets me know that I'm doing okay. So anyway, guys, I just want to thank you so much for watching my video. And this has been Jigsaw0097. I will talk to you guys all later.